Hi guys, welcome to the Niche of All Trades channel where we talk about personal finance and personal development and really anything I'm really interested in talking about. I haven't posted in a couple weeks, so I thought I'd post something. I was just a guest speaker at a podcast with Austin and Mayu. They organize a investor group called the Rise Network, and they asked a lot of really insightful questions. I guess it forced me to think about what I'm doing personally in terms of investing, in terms of my own life goals. One of the questions was, what would I do if I had $10 million? And my answer really was that I'd probably be doing a lot of the same things I'm doing right now. I would take that money, I would invest it, I would grow those funds, whether it be in dividend paying stocks, more real estate, private lending. In terms of the actual impact on my lifestyle, I probably would take, probably not necessarily work the 9 to 5 at that point, but work on some other passion project or projects that I truly would be interested in doing. Perhaps more YouTube stuff. Spending more time with the kids would probably be the main things I would kind of absorb all that extra time. So really that $10 million question, for me, it would just be freeing up even more time for myself to do the things that are important in my life. That question though really kind of hit me because I was thinking, life is pretty short. Like, I remember one of these guru guys that my side of the family kind of listens to, a guy named Prem Rawat. He'd always go on about, life is short. Let's just say like 30,000 days to live, and 30,000 days to live, and the importance of appreciating your daily life. And so, I kind of stuck, that concept or that idea stuck with me as well. And it makes me think like, well, I've spent quite a few days, I've already spent almost half of those days, assuming, I live to a healthy age of 82, for example, and I don't die sooner than expected. But it's, thinking about your own mortality is what I guess I'm getting at. It's like thinking about that's always uncomfortable, and it can also be empowering. What am I going to do with the time that I have, and how am I going to make the most of it, I guess, is really the question that I asked myself after doing that podcast interview with Austin and Mayu. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually counted 30,000 days minus how old I am now, how many days of that are still around, are still here, and how many days of that would be like with, having a good quality of life as well. And this is all assuming, I don't get sick, I don't prematurely pass away, so factoring those things, making those assumptions, maximum, that's probably what you'll have. Past 82, any year, more years after past 82 is a gift as well. Really, I guess the question is, what kind of, how do I want to spend my daily life? I think we all have to, most of us, like who aren't financially independent, like myself right now, you spend 40 hours a week doing work. You've got to work to survive. I guess the question would be like, if I weren't doing work, what else would I be doing? Probably end up being more time with the kids, and more time working on passion projects, like putting out a YouTube video about contemplating life and the fact that the average person has 30,000 days to live. In terms of just legacy, I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought about what kind of legacy I'd like to leave on planet Earth. And that's something I want to think about more of. Just on the personal development side of things, I'd finished reading an audiobook called Atomic Habits. It's by, the author's name is James Clear. And it's the idea that looking at the habits you want to keep, looking at the habits you don't want to keep, looking at the habits new habits that you want to build, and giving you structure and tactics on how to build new habits. And one of the big examples they give in that book is that the British cycling team, for example, never won a Olympic medal or the Tour de France. in their history. They're probably like the worst team ever. And all of a sudden, in the mid-2000s, for a period of a decade, they started winning every Olympic medal, won the Tour de France several times. And general manager that came in to manage that team, what he did was he made small changes that don't seem to really matter, like 1% changes to the different things that that cycling team was doing to get better. For example, if they would change the types of shorts that they were wearing, shoes, overall technique, cycling technique, just little things. And all of a sudden they just started winning. And all those, so I guess the moral of that was that all of those little changes accumulate into a large impact for that team. And the idea is that you can make small changes to your habits to create large impact in your life. And in terms of how I'm applying it to my own life, I'll be looking at changing certain habits. Like, for example, remembering to listen to an audiobook these days is sometimes a challenge. So one thing I do is I leave a calendar appointment in my calendar, just saying, 10 p.m., which is 10 or 11 or 12 p.m. when I'm sleeping, or right before I'm sleeping, half an hour before I'm sleeping, I'll leave an appointment saying listen to audiobook. So I can do that every evening to remind myself. So that's a new way that I remind myself to continue to listen to an audiobook, so I can get through more audiobooks. Because that's something I want to do. Or conversely, if you prefer physical books, you can leave the book on your pillow, for example, and this is like talked about in the book as well, and that will help you remember that when you go to bed, that, oh yeah, I'm going to read my next 10 pages of my book. And so little things that you can do to build better habits. So I thought that was a very interesting book, and probably a great tactical guide on how to change your habits to create the results that you want in your life, whether it's with your physical health or your mental health or your financial health. Yeah, so the question is, are you making the most of your days? I think reflecting on the fact that life on planet Earth is finite, your time is finite, it really, I think it can help with motivating oneself more to do the things that are important, do the things that you want to do, shape your life in the way that you would like it to look. And I think it's important that we all try to feel like we have a lot of control in our lives and take action in changing our lives if it's not going the way that we want it to. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm just kind of rambling here. Leave a comment down below if there's anything that any thoughts on reflecting on the finiteness of life in general and making the most of it. Alrighty, thank you.